What's going on, Sweet Dreams Nation? And there we have it again. Another weekend, another card. No Conor McGregor, no Sweet Dreams, but hell of a card. Hell of a card. The guys that came in, that stepped up, amazing. Shout out to Danny stepping up on the shortest time ever to take a fight on short notice, especially one of this magnitude and against a dangerous up and coming guy. But we're gonna get into that. I wanted to go over the card and just kind of give my thoughts on it. Yeah. So starting off the prelims, not the early prelims, those are a little and I kind of slept, but it was 3 bonuses given out on these prelims. These prelims were absolutely fire. If you were watching those, you definitely got your money's worth before you even paid for the main card. Phenomenal card. Started out with Peyton Talbot versus Yanni. I ain't even gonna try his last name. It was a quick fight. Came out, I think it was maybe 15 seconds, measured out jab, 1-2, bop, put it right on the button, followed up with some ground and pound, and was able to put him out. I've already said it, and I said it right whenever I first seen this kid on Contender Series, because I was there live when I seen him on Contender Series, and I remember watching him fight and thinking like, yo, this kid's got good movement, he's in good position a lot of the time, he's got good flow, he's got good IQ, and he's got good eyes for what he's seeing and being creative and creating things in split seconds and moments. It's one of those abilities that you see with very few guys at the top level, at the top of some divisions. And I'm gonna be honest, sky's the limit for this kid. And I'm actually really high on this kid, Peyton Talbot, and I think he's gonna be not only a really good fighter and a really good staple in the company, but he could be one of those marquee star fighters that helps the name build on, and that when you see him on cards, it actually adds value to those cards and things like that. I think he has that type of talent, and I think he has that type of potential. The next fight, Charles Jourdain versus Lord Gene Silva. It was a good fight while it lasted. It only lasted about a minute and a half. Mr. Gene Silva pressing the action. He came out stalking him, kind of had him on the back foot up against the cage, and just was pressing him back, looking to land, looking to find his big shots, and he ended up getting in exchange up against the cage and pulling in an uppercut that he landed clean and put Charles Jourdain down, man. This guy's got some power. We've seen this guy fight now a couple times, and every time, whenever he cracks people, they go down. He's one of those guys that just got that dynamite in his hands, and he understands distance, range, and how to set up for his power. So it was a really good performance by him, and he's also become one of those guys that's really good, really fun to watch whenever you see his name on a card. We had the fight of the night. The fight after that, a really, really fun fight between Cub Swanson and Andre Touchy-Feely. These guys went at it. Good striking, good exchanges, some very nice and decently timed takedowns and transitions to get back up. They showed a little bit of everything in this fight, and they showed heart, bro. They showed heart, determination, and just that grit that comes with being a fighter in this lane. That really won it, and it was a close split decision. Could have gone any way. In my eyes, it was really close. It was really close. It was a really hard fight to judge. Yeah, bro. It was each round kind of left you thinking like, well, which way are we going with this? I know there's nothing to be ashamed of from either man, bro. It was a fantastic fight, phenomenal fight. Glad that they both got a little extra cheese on top of that. Mr. Joe Pyfer. Whew. Against McCondre. Yeah, I figured this one was gonna be a knockout. Another minute and a half fight. So there was 4 fights on this prelims. On these prelims, and the one that went longer then a minute and 25 seconds was the fight of the night. Like that's incredible prelims, bro. That's incredible. Shouts out to y'all. I want to give a shout out to everybody on those prelims. You know what I mean? It takes two to tango, and that was dope, bro. That was dope. That was fun to watch, and it was fun to be a fan watching that. Joe Pyfer came out, stalked him down, heavy hands, was patient, found his shot, bang. When he found it, he landed hard, and he was able to put him down. Joe's dedicated to evolving, and he looks good in his evolution. He looks better every time he goes out. I know the Jack Hermanson fight was a learning curve for him. It was a lot of things to unpack from that. Is from the being tired, dealing with an illness, to a guy switching up the game plan to where he's going to take you down to where now he's found the weapon in that jab that was able to find a home and things like that. So I think these are just things that he learned from and that he grew from. And ultimately, we just seen another level of that evolution with the finish here, and it was a brutal, nasty knockout, bro. Like face down, like planted, stiff, out cold, nasty work. Good job, Joe. Moving on to the main card, Ian Machado Gay versus Michael Venom Beach. Now, this is a great fight. This is a great fight on paper. How it was drawn up, the styles, the personalities, everything matched up in a line. What we got was a mixed martial arts fight. You know, where they had to where guys both faced adversity and both had to go into their bag to, you know what I mean, to not only survive but still try to put on and win the fight. For me personally, I felt like Ian was more of the favorite for me in this fight, just because I've trained with Ian and I understand how good this kid is. You know, his patience is something that's massively underrated and understated. He's big for the weight class, and kid can do everything. He can strike, he can clinch, he's got groundwork. He's been out in Brazil now working on his jiu-jitsu with Charles Oliveira and that team out there, and it's been a good thing for him. Also, shout out to his boy, man. His son is awesome. I got to see him when we were at the PI. Love that kid, bro. From the time that the kid was born, he's just been a little stud, a little rock star, and love the relationship and seeing all the things and him being a great man and a great father and things like that. That's awesome. But in the fight, I thought that Ian would have gotten off with the leg kicks. You know what I mean? Like I think Michael Page is a little susceptible to leg kicks and things like that, and there's openings to be had there. And I thought that would be, with how I've seen Ian move and his movement and how he throws, I thought that would have been something that he would have tried to take advantage of. But it just goes to show with his IQ and his different way of thinking. Right? He was able to find another way to ultimately neutralize his game and implement his way to a win, which was impressive. You know, we seen Michael Venom Page come in against a veteran like Kevin, and he was able to frustrate him and present some problems and some challenges there. So he's gamed at this level. So hats off to Ian, bro, for going out there getting that done. And 15-0. Let's see if we can get it routed up to a title. Pause. That was sounding a little crazy. Macy Chikasin, Chikalakalakin, I don't know. Myra Bueno Silva. Oh. So this fight got stopped pretty early. Second round, 2 minutes in. Because of a cut, Macy was able to get her down and put a nice cut. Before that was a lot of grabbing, pressing up against the cage, trying to find openings for whatever was a way to ultimately, which what we saw, it led to her putting her down on the ground, opened her up with a cut. Now, it was a nasty cut. It was open, it was wide, but I'm gonna be honest, and I said this in real time whenever I saw it. If that wasn't a woman's fight, is that fight stopped? Would they stop that fight? because immediately I thought back to the Glover Teixeira fight when I fought Glover Teixeira, and he had 2 massive cuts, very similar to the one that she had, and there was no thoughts of stopping that fight. Gregory Rodriguez, he actually posted, I seen he posted after this, had that with that massive cut right here in front of his against I believe it was against Chidi when he fought Chidi Angel Kawani. They did not stop that fight, and you can almost see my man's skull through his face. So I can see Mayra Bueno Silva's protest and how she felt that she would be allowed to continue, because I honestly feel that had she been a male, you probably would have been allowed to continue. But shout out to Macy, got her down, beautiful elbow to open her up, beautiful work. Congrats. Third fight, Anthony Smith versus Roman Delite. The fight for the most part, the fight looked like a short notice fight. Looked like a short notice fight from both of the guys. You know, the activity and the volume wasn't what we've come to see whenever we see these guys with a full camp, particularly with Anthony Smith and Roman. I believe Roman was a little bit more push a little bit more forward, more whenever he has that time. But be that as it may, Roman coming up from a smaller weight class, you know, I think that actually might have helped him in this fight, you know, just because he was able to have a little bit more of a push. He had a little bit more push. It seemed like he had a little bit more wind to be able to push through and land more shots, give it a little bit more of a push in certain areas, like whenever he got him down and things like that. I know the first round he came out testing the legs, kicking each other's legs. It was close. As the fight went on, second round, I feel that Roman maybe had a little bit more volume and pushed a little bit more. And then the third round, I believe he actually got Anthony down and he spent a little bit of time on his back, which at that point he looked pretty gassed. Ant was able to get up, but wasn't able to really produce much output from that to make up from the deficit that I think was created within that time within the middle of the fight. So yeah, shout out to Roman moving up a weight class, cracking the top 10. That's top 10 in 2 weight classes. So you know that's a beautiful thing. Shout out to you. Dan 50K, 3 hours, Ige versus Diego, Mr. Dynamic Lopez. Good fight. It was a good fight. It was what you would kind of expect for guys who didn't game plan with each other, who kind of just are on notes, literally just popping in, showing up and fighting who's there. This literally was the definition of popping up, showing up and fighting who was there, right? 3 hours notice. Granted, he was in camp the whole time, but he was in camp to fight somebody else. He wasn't game planning for a guy like this, which Diego's dangerous with submissions. He's dangerous on the ground. He's dangerous in the striking department. He's just an all-around dangerous, and that's why I call him Mr. Dynamic fighter, because he can in a fight and do damage and do crazy things everywhere. But Dan Ige is a G. He's a veteran. He's a dog, and he showed up to bang. He showed up to fight. I think that just more so 3 weeks out from camp, you can be in a good rhythm and thing, but you could necessarily not be peaking. I think the more so the performance just showed that Diego, this was when he was expecting to fight, and this was his time to fight, and he was just peaking a little bit more than Dan Ige, who took the fight that day kind of off the couch. When he went to bed last night, he didn't think that he was waking up to fight today. You know what I mean? Diego did. So for that, he came out, didn't get finished, actually won a round. Did well, bro. He did well. Like Coach Nick said, he was playing with house money, and he went out and he gave it a great shot. It's what legends are made of, bro. And that was definitely some legendary shit, and a great thing to witness, bro. And another inspiration of stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. Stay ready. Always ready. opportunities come up, and now the UFC definitely owe him for that, and they're definitely going to take into consideration what he did for them in that moment, hopefully. Moving on to the main event, Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira 2. It was a great fight, great main event, absolute dominant performance by Alex from start to finish. I believe this is honestly probably the first fight that I've seen where Alex came out and won the fight from start until he got the finish. He didn't have to come back and it was still some adversity. Jiri still presented his challenges in it, but he adapted and he made good adjustments. One thing that I did that we were worried about with Jiri was the leg kicks, and you could tell he was a little bit mindful of those, and from those, Alex played to that and was able to open up into other weapons. Jiri also tried to come out and implement the southpaw stance, but what I've noticed from Jiri in the southpaw stance, even though Alex struggles to kind of find his way with southpaw, Jiri's not a southpaw. He don't really have many threats. He don't really have many weapons from there, or many things to really challenge, or many puzzles to put out there to cause a certain level of confusion. And when he did turn it out, whenever he did turn it out southpaw, then in doing so, Alex realized to get active and kind of throw some things out there, throw his puzzle, his pieces out there to kind of force him and to pressure him back into turning into orthodox, which he felt comfortable. Another thing that I noticed, whenever he first came out, that first initial lunge at Alex, he was able to penetrate and actually get Alex back on his back foot. The adjustment that I seen that Alex made from that was the check hook. More so before, you see him come in, he steps in with that hook and he tries to land it, leaning it, throwing and getting his power forward. This time we seen him implement it from more of a defensive in a counteractive manner. From this particular fight and sequence, the first hook that he landed on Jiri, he hit him and you could see the eyes rolling, you could see him get dazed a little bit. From there, he landed another one that kind of wobbled, that kind of shook the legs a little bit. And then he landed the one at the end of the round that put him on his back. It's beautiful adjustments, bro. Beautiful adjustments. He looked evolved. He looked like he's taking more steps and getting better. He's like as a fighter, which for me, somebody that's looking, that's hungry, that's calling, that's barking for that opportunity to get back in there with them. It excites me to see. It excites me to see because it brings me to another level and it brings another animal out of me. And I'm excited now. I'm excited, you can't get to the top, winning the title and things like that. You can't start to think like, dang, what's next? Like, what can I do now? And then with the injury, reign, and things like that being taken away, you start to see a guy comes to the division and he starts to do these things and it motivates you and it gets you hungry and it gets you ready to go and set yourself up against it. Remember, I came in here and I came into this division chasing after a guy like a John Jones, and with a guy now starting to make legendary strides and stripes in there, and I have a chance in my era to stack up against that, I want nothing more than that opportunity. But amazing performance from them. He came out second round after having him wasted no time, just a fake, give him a little dip and a little switch head kick to the head, lands flush, and he hops on him and he gets the finish. And it's just another dominant, great performance. This is why he's the guy that's becoming the guy to call in on short notice or for big cards whenever they need him to step up. And you gotta respect it. You gotta tip your hat to that and things like that. All in all, great card. Lineage of the light heavyweight. The story continues, and it's a great story even still. But I wanted to get into something else before, because there was a video that came out before the fight late last week of me running in. I seen Alex and Glover at the PI, which me and Glover have hung together before and things like that. But I went up. I shook his hand. He was there. Shook his hand. What's up? And I shook Alex's hand. Alex there. What's up? People have this misconception that I hate Alex. That I have this straight up this thing. when I continuously say it's purely competition and competitively driven. All right. For all the reasons that I just previously stated. There were some statements and some things said that I wanted to address. For one was the statement of, oh, he said it was on site whenever he see him and then he didn't do it. Where did I say that? What did I say whenever I see Alex? It was on site. You cannot show me anywhere where I've said that because I've never said that because it's strictly a professional thing. I made quite a bit of money fighting Alex the first time. I'm going to make quite a bit of money fighting Alex again. Why would I risk that for a scrunch, for a scuffle at the PI? That's one thing. Secondly, Alex, one of the things I honestly respect and I'm a fan of the most about Alex is the fatherhood. You know what I mean? The way the dad and his, you know what I mean, his sons. Like I wanted to pull up this clip real quick. This is his boys watching their dad do his thing and do what he does. Look at that, bro. Imagine being that kid, bro. Being able to watch your dad do these things. The pride, all of that, bro. Now, his sons were with him at the PI. So I was supposed to approach this man while he's with his children and create a potentially dangerous situation. One thing I love the fact that he takes his sons, that his sons are there, they get to experience this, they're into it, all those things. Even at the Fighter Hotel, when I was there while Anthony Smith was working out, doing his weight cut, they had the same room. His sons came in with Glover. They were there. I was sitting right there in the same room with them while they were working out, hitting mitts, literally throwing punches, trying to look like their dad, all those things. I respect the hell out of that. I love to see that. I would never put him in a position where he felt that where he would have to cut experience, like bringing his kids somewhere around like that because of fear of there being a dangerous situation or any of that, or even just feeling uncomfortable or anything like that. I would never do that. That's not the type of man I am. That's not what I stand for at all whatsoever. And for people to sit up and try to hop online and try to take digs at the fact of I didn't take that opportunity to do something like that or to be that person, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? What kind of fan? I understand getting into the fights, being excited and things like that, bro. But y'all, that right there is just ridiculous, bro. I would never make anybody feel as though an environment that I'm in, that because of me, their kid can't come and have experiences and things like that, like what we see in that video, or just being around or being like the people that come through, things like that, because of me, because of a threat from me. It ain't gonna happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what anybody think of a hothead or any of that, that ain't my character. Whatever was whatever online, but you ain't never got that threat or that problem with me. We gonna have our time. We gonna step in that octagon and we gonna get back to business. Great card. I'm a fan of it all. I'm here for it all. And Sweet Dreams Nation, you already know what it is. I gotta slide up out of here. It's hot as hell in Vegas. So I'm gonna take a little bit of spin a couple blocks and then I'm back at it, baby. Let's go.